Chartered accountant and financial analyst Chung has dismissed suggestions that Prime Minister Andrew Holness could temporarily assume the role as the finance minister heads to the IMF. He shares his top picks from within the Parliament and the Senate. More from Neika.
Businessman and chartered accountant Chung says transitioning from Dr. Nigel Clark to a new finance minister in coming weeks could be seamless with someone who instills confidence and retains the fiscal responsibility as Dr. Clark did. So who does he first think could fill such a void from the list of likely names in the Parliament?
If you could hazard a guess for that, who would you say would perhaps make it easier?
Coming out of the elected persons in the House, my choice was the Favour Williams. I mean, she was a Minister of Finance. She has extensive finance experience. And I know Favour for a long time before she went into politics. And I think that she's the type of person you want. They're level-headed, someone who thinks about decisions before she makes them, and someone who's well-respected.
Chung hasn't forgotten the possible options from the Senate, though it would require some sort of political gymnastics to get them in that role, namely a by-election.
You can't limit yourself there. I mean, if you look in the Senate, for example, there are people like Albin Hill, who remember that he was headed the National Commercial Bank, made it the largest bank in Jamaica. Well-respected person, so I have a lot of time for him, his potential. And of course, you have people outside of the House of Parliament that you can look at. Going for someone from the Senate or outside the House, there's some gymnastics that have to be played. For example, when Omar Davis was being made Minister of Finance, they had to do some things to get him a seat. That is what you'd have to do.
And with some hinting the Prime Minister could likely put his hat in the ring, even for a short while, he thinks not.
Do you at any point see the Prime Minister himself taking on this portfolio, even for the short term?
No.
Dr. Nigel Clark leaves behind a turnaround story that began with the opposition's Dr. Peter Phillips and fiscal measures implemented from years prior to his 2018 installment. Chung is assured taking up the mantle after Dr. Clark will not likely leave too much to be worried about. Neika, CVM News.